What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Bend Studios and I guess another multiplayer game. Look, I don't really put memes and stuff in a video, but if I were to, I'm not going to. This would be that how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man me? This is probably like the perfect opportunity to make that line because what people have found is they are hiring a creative director. So it's like it's not just for some like part-timer. It's not just for some like entry-level position. This is the individual that is going to lead their brand new next game. And in the things of what they're looking for, the requirements, they would say, they literally say experience with multiplayer game development and design. Again, it's one thing to say, most of these jobs for games, when you look at them and you look at enough of them, I certainly have looked at, for not being in it, I've definitely looked at a lot, my fair share of job listings. They'll talk about the must-haves or the requirements, and they'll talk about, like, the nice-to-haves, right? Like, it's nice to have worked on an MMO. It doesn't necessarily mean you're making an MMO. It just is nice if you did it, right? And sometimes, if something is in that, it's like, all right, well, maybe it's not that big of a deal because it's just, like, an extra bonus thing. Sometimes it can mean something, though, by the way, right? But for this is the lead. This is literally the main honcho, okay? And they're talking about you need to have had experience doing a multiplayer game. You're not looking for somebody who's done multiplayer games if you yourself is not doing a multiplayer game. So there's the explanation. There's the actual news. In terms of my really quick gut reaction, look, multiplayer games are not inherently evil or bad. Obviously, I have a biasness generally, I guess, against them. It's just the history. It's just the history. We've talked so much on this channel. It feels like we've done it too many times, to be honest with you. This kind of, again, sense of not learning. And it's not to say you can never make a multiplayer game. I've always said, and I've been thinking more about this, like when you have Concord that comes out, and Concord was just such like the ultimate failure. You have Resistance, you have Killzone, you have SOCOM, you have all of these games. They had multiplayer elements. Why couldn't you have, at any point, brought these games back? And not that I necessarily would have liked it, but just we're going to bring Resistance back, and it's simply a live service shooter. Now, in a way, I think that's quite disrespectful to Resistance, but at least it's something that I'd have a little bit more confidence on than what happened with Concord. Also, you have Bend, and we know their history. Like, can they do it? Potentially. Have they done it well recently? No. They have canceled so many games in the last, let's say, 10 years. They've canceled a bunch. And the last game they canceled, this is what really gets me, right? Bluepoint, Bend. They were working on live service games. Now, remember, Bluepoint was doing like a God of War multiplayer thing, which maybe as we look back, we're going to like that idea more and more as time goes on. I don't know. But they were working on these games. They were canceled. To me, if you're working on a multiplayer like live service game in this era of chasing trends, which is what it was, you're chasing trends, you're trying to do a live service game, PlayStation looks through it and says, nope, we're not doing it. We're shutting it down. Is the next move to do it again? Is that, if you were in charge, is that something you would do? I think 9 out of 10 people would say no. Problem is, there's that 1 out of 10, and maybe they have that 1 out of 10 in Herman Holst. They say yes. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. And again, it's not that they're inherently bad. It's that they can be. Definitely, they can be bad. And also, you just look at the history. You look at what the studio has done. Like, we're not that far removed from Golden Abyss and Days Gone. Now, I know they did, like, Siphon Filter, but, like, you can do, why can't you do that? And maybe they are doing that. Maybe it's going to have a multiplayer component. I know people are saying that as well. Like, technically, Elden Ring has a multiplayer component. A lot of even, like, hardcore, maybe single-player type games, have a multiplayer element to them. So maybe it's not as much as I'm making it out to be, right? Like maybe it's not, maybe the original game was live service. Now this one is more single player that has a multiplayer kind of component to it. If that's the case, whatever. But it doesn't look good. And by the way, it's not even just, well, optically it doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good to me. I mean, I can only tell you my feelings, and it's my channel, it's my video. For me, seeing it just gives me a bad feeling. It just factually does. You're free to disagree. That's totally fine. But when I see them that they're doing it again, maybe it's not literally again, but I just don't like the look. I really don't know how else to say it. And I just think, like, you have other options. Like, why? I guess that's also the thing. Like, it's not like you have to do this, right? You talk about, okay, well, it's just like a chance after a chance after a chance. And maybe, again, maybe it's not a full-on live service. Maybe it's like a pseudo, like a back and forth. But I would argue, like, well, the world isn't just multiplayer games or types of multiplayer games, right? Like, if something's not working and you just cancel the game, by the time we get this game, it'll be God knows how long after Days Gone was what, 2018, 2019? I mean, like, we are probably going to be very close, if not even hit, 10 years. 10 years. I really, really, I think it was 2019. I really think we're going to hit potentially 9 to 10 years between the releases, and that's unacceptable. Unacceptable. And I've said that before. I said that when we found out from Jason Schreier, I believe, that they canceled their game, or PlayStation canceled their game. But I guess, again, the more insulting thing to me, or the thing that I take the most offense with, is not only will it have been 10 years, but you have all these canceled games, and like the game you just canceled was a multiplayer, and now you're going to do another multiplayer. Again, maybe it's not the same type of thing, but like it's still multiplayer. Can you just completely 180 it? Because, by the way, and here's another thing. You 180'd it already. You went from Days Gone to a live service game that failed, that you canceled. So you already 180'd. So now all I'm simply asking is that you 180 again, and potentially you 180 back to that first, 2 180s makes a full circle. That's all I'm asking you to do, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Will I cover it? Yes, in 2 to 3 years when we see it. I'll give it a chance. And I try to do that with all these games, even the multiplayer. I played the beta for Concord, so it's like I give it a chance. I'll check it out. Again, just because it's a multiplayer doesn't mean I have to hate it, but because I don't. Truly, I play actually a lot of multiplayer games that I quite enjoy, so I want it to be good. But like, again, I guess in this situation, what have they done to really prove that I should trust that they're capable of doing this type of game in the first place? You know what I mean? Now, maybe they hire the greatest creative director of all time, and I eat my words. And good. But the thing is, you can't eat your words until the game is out, and I mean, that's still a while away. So we might have to revisit this, 3 to 4 years from now. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icons are on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.